Good morning. This is Bill from Europa, Naples, and today I have this car that's become a little bit appealing to me. In fact, appealing in such a way that I keep trying to invent ways for me to keep it. I do this from time to time. Something comes in on trade, I notice it a little bit, I flirt around with it, I drive it home, and before too long I try to find out a way to keep it in the family. And this is one of those cars. This is a 2006 Porsche Cayenne S. I've always been a big fan of the Cayennes for a couple of reasons. The main reason is it offended the absolute hell out of the Porsche purists. These things debuted at an auto show in 2002. All the air-cooled guys already reeling from the water-cooled introduction see an SUV in the pipes and think, oh my God, what's become of our little company here? And, Porsche responded and said, look, we need profit, for Christ's sake. If we're going to keep building this, bizarre rear-engine thing and, remain a profitable company, we're going to have to come out with some other stuff. And some other stuff they did. And this was probably the biggest one. In fact, the Cayennes big time outsell the 911. So, take that, air-cooled guys. That's what's going on in the world right now. This particular one is an 06, again, a Cayenne S, which means it has the V8. And it's a little bit of a monster. I mean, the thing weighs more than 5,000 pounds. It has a 7,700 pound tow capacity, a 340 horse V8, and runs all the way up to just about 150 miles an hour. So it's a pretty substantial beast. Getting into this specific example, it's finished in seal gray metallic, a gorgeous color. It's got the carbon fiber kit inside, xenon headlamps, and really is ordered just sort of exactly the way that I would have done it. And again, makes me just want to keep the thing around. You see those big xenons up front, the vents in the front, making that V8 breathe. You got some nicely integrated fog lamps down low. You got huge dinner plate brakes behind those rims. And it looks like the guy bought new Michelin's kind of on the way to trade it in. So they've still got the little nubby things on them. Absolutely incredible. You usually don't get a car in on trade with tires like that. It's straight and true down both sides. Just absolutely beautiful all around. Has the sort of shadow trim blackout kit with the black door handles with the gray inserts, black around the windows, black strip on the bottom. And I am just completely enamored of this thing. Even the design, just love it. All right, let's start in the back. Here you can see the Cayenne S. I'm going on a little weekend trip, so forgive the incredible amount of crap that I've already put in the back. We've got a little race over at Homestead this weekend. Andrew's wife won't let him go, so he won't be there. But anyway, you can see it very nicely fits more than enough stuff for a weekend trip. It still has the cargo cover in place, so if you want to hide your shame, not a problem, just get that up. It's got all this nice sort of brushed stainless looking guard stuff. You got a couple 12-volt outlets from what you can see. Little storage place and spare tire underneath all that crap. This one did come with the factory tow package, so you can see between those big menacing twice pipes, you've got a receiver hitch that the fellow who owned it was nice enough to put a Porsche cover in. In fact, it probably came with that and he just never used it. But anyway, everything nice and tight back there and exactly the way you'd want to see it. Good cargo room in this car. Also has a rear wiper. You gotta get it close enough and it sucks it down like the wiper. Look at these big black roof rails. I just love this thing. Okay, now look, it's come to my attention recently that I'm always talking about stuffing Canadians in the back of these cars and nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about because this goes back years. So let me give you a quick, brief explanation of the Canadian thing for anyone who's kind of a recent newcomer. I live in Naples. We do our business here in Naples, which is kind of a little, you walk around the other side for the sun. Naples is kind of a little vacation town. It's full of very wealthy people, which is great. I'm sure they're very nice when you're around them. I'm not very often. But it's not just that. It's also people coming for the beach, for the weather, especially in January when it's ice and sleet up north. It's usually about 75 degrees and sunny here. So, of course, in, the United States, I don't know what, maybe 8 years ago, big market crash, the housing market. So all these little vacation condos became fairly cheap and affordable. The prices of them dropped by half or more. So we had invading hordes of Canadians coming down. I mean, invading. I mean, thousands of them. And, you know, again, being a vacation town, you always see stuff like convertibles rolling around. Well, for whatever reason, the Canadians would all buy these convertibles. Then they'd have their Canadian friends come down. And I don't care how little the convertible was. We're talking like Lexus SC430s or Jaguar XJSs. They would stuff like 2 or 3 or 4 Canadians in a back seat that's basically meant for, you know, dogs or thalidomide babies. I mean, anything but humans. And they would just stuff them back there. And, you know, you just couldn't help but notice. So, you know, forever after, in my mind, the back seats just became a place where you're going to find some Canadians. Anyway, you can see beautiful black leather in this car. Fantastic color for the interior. Here's part of that carbon fiber kit it has, which is gorgeous. You've got Nets screen, sunscreens in the windows. Down here, you've got this rear air conditioning with controls, heated rear seats, you know, all very nice. So your Canadians are going to be pretty chipper. You've also got some cup holders there. And let's see if my detailer forgot to clean in here. He did not. So you got a place for your tablets or magazines or, you know, whatever you want to stuff in there. All right, we'll have a look under the hood, then we get inside. Now, one thing Porsche has always done, I don't know if that's true. One thing Porsche does in the modern era very well is make the most beautiful engine compartments. And this is no exception. Look at that beautiful all-aluminum 4.5-liter V8 and the way that it's just gorgeously designed into this car. I mean, you can see the lovely engine cover, the big runners on the intake manifold there, the top stabilizing engine mount, the nice way they've got all the, you know, plastic around it that doesn't overpower it, still lets you see the engine but keeps it really, really neat. And I just have to say, that's absolute artwork. You know, other than the Italians, nobody's building better looking engine bays than these Porsche guys. Anyway, fantastic engine in that thing. Got 340 horse, really peppy. Okay, up front you see these beautiful black leather seats. They've never been touched up or dyed or medicked. That's all original, so you know the guy really looked after this car. It also has power seats on both sides with memory. Nice stuff. Beautiful fit and finish on a Porsche, the way they do. You know, they just put everything together so nice. You've got more carbon fiber. You've got some brushed aluminum looking stuff. Gorgeous fit and finish on the materials. Nice little map pocket there. A couple speakers for the Bose system. You got your power mirrors there that fold, I believe. I'll check that out, maybe not. Either way, very, very nice and proper on the door panels. You also have the ignition on the left, Le Mans style. That's a bit of a Porsche feature going back for many, many years. That big V8 firing up. Nice sound. Just don't like the Cayennes with the V6s enough. I mean, they're good enough. They move, but man, you get into the V8, you're just getting something a little bit more special. So here you see Porsche's beautifully laid out instrument cluster. Unlike other Porsches, it doesn't put the tach front and center. It puts it the same as the Speedo, but off to the left of the driver information center in the middle. So that's a bit of a departure for Porsche. It's a kind of polarized glass on that thing to make it nice and visible. Lovely backlighting on it. I don't know if we can get more. Yeah, just there it is. Anyway, you can see a 7,000, maybe 6,500 RPM tach, 160 mile an hour speedo, which is just about right for a car that does 150. I like these little stickers here. I'm sure this was some kind of federalization thing, but it just looks German and exotic. Over here, you've got your automatic headlights. You can put them on that way, pull once for front fogs, pull twice for rears. Sometimes you see these goofballs driving down the road with this super bright brake light on one side, and you know that they've pulled the rear fog lights on. So if you're going to be posing around with your fog lights, just give it one tug, not two. Look at this beautiful carbon fiber steering wheel. You know, this thing, I can't even imagine what that package costs. It didn't come with a window sticker. I'm afraid to look if it had it. But anyway, beautiful, perfect carbon fiber on the wheel. It's got Porsche's TipTronic 6-speed automatic, so you can do your flippity flips here with your thumbs. It's got multifunction controls for the cruise and radio. Actually, I don't know if that is the cruise. It's the radio and the, what do you got? Traction? No, it's music, whatever, you know, music stuff on the wheel. I think you got your cruise over there. There's your rear wiper, front wiper controls, and just everything super nice. Again, the fit and finish on these cars is terrific. Over here you have Porsche's PCM, Porsche Communication Management. That's their fancy way of saying, you know, navigation and radio. It's got a very nice map for 06, doesn't look dated. You know, nice colors and, you know, resolution. Also has, let's see, we got our sound. Yeah, we got satellite radio, AM, FM. You got some CD stuff up there. You got heated seats. You got Porsche Stability Management. That's very advanced traction control. You've got this automatic climate control with more flip down stuff to give you more controls. All very cool. Beautiful carbon fiber pull handles for when you're doing some serious, you know, off-roading Land Rover style. Beautiful carbon fiber shift knob on the, you know, aluminum look surround. If you want to tiptronically use the shifter, you can do it this way. Here's the control for the suspension. There you can raise the car a little bit. You can lower the car a little bit. You can, you know, make it, you know, set up for what you're doing. So if you're in the mountains, you got more clearance, more, you know, whatever, suspension travel. On the highway, it's going to lower it a little bit to give you better stability. You got some cup holders in there. You got some books. You got a pen in here. This guy had it all. He really had his shit together, this guy. You can also turn on the air conditioning, so you get cold air coming in here if you want to keep your chips cool. There's the books. I didn't actually look to see if we had any window stickers or anything in there. Let's see. Nah, it's not looking like it. Nice set of books, though, anyway, and 2 keys. All very well kept. Up top, you've got a self-dimming mirror. You've got your light controls and home links, and you got a big power sunroof here. Works great. And everything nice and proper. You also have, there we go. There's some areas my detailer didn't get. Yep. Never does look in the center consoles. I don't get that. You know, I gripe about it every day. Maybe it just does it to torture me. I think that is what it, because it is absolutely inconceivable that anyone could forget within 24 hours or even 4 hours when he's doing the next car to look inside the damn center console. So that's obviously just a thing to torture me and make me miserable and go back there and gripe, and then he giggles when I leave, and you know, it all just starts over again. There's our satellite coming on. All right, let's go for a spin. So the great thing about the Cayenne is just how substantial it is. You know, first of all, it's got tons of torque. That tow capacity is shocking. It goes down the road beautifully. I mean, it's fine around town, very nice around town, but it really comes into its own on long distance trips. The seats are incredibly comfortable. The ride is quite lovely, and it just feels like $1 million eating up the Autobahn. I love that sound. We got dogs and babies and all kinds of horrible things. You know, the steering is nice. It's got kind of a, I presume it's a variable assist power steering because it's very light when you're in a parking lot, and it stiffens up as you drive, or at least it feels that way. And we got our giraffes chewing on the trees again. Let's give it a little hammer. Alright, so you got that V8 scream of rage that really moves this thing forward. I mean, it's quick. It's not a rocket ship, but it's quick. I think it's a 15-second quarter mile time, which is certainly adequate for a 5,000-pound vehicle. And you're not going to feel like you're wanting when you're trying to merge onto the interstate. You know, the steering is great in this thing. The brakes are great. The suspension's fantastic. It's just a lovely car to drive. And, you know, take that, you know, rump engine 911 purists. Chew on that for a little while. Porsche built a great SUV. So look, if you have an interest in this thing, again, it's an 06 Cayenne S. Beautiful combination. I think 77,000 miles on the clock. You know, very, very well kept. Fresh Michelin's on there. Nice service history. This thing's a real champion. Give us a call, 239-649-7300, on the web at mercedesexpert.com. Thanks so much for having a look. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you with the next one. Take care.